Anyways, patch notes 1.13.2. Victoria skin bundles are
Look,
back for the Nations League
the
thing.
only losses are the ones that you
Snacks
don't
thing for
get,
the
that like are you didn't realize. You know what
18
I mean?
months. I appreciate it. Welcome back to the Bird Nest, man. Thank you for the resub. What's up, Masenko? Good morning. Countess skin, Fang Mao skin. This shit's kind of ugly. This shit's aight. She kind of looks like she has Terra's model, though. I'm not gonna lie, like her face model, which is kind of funny. Um, Undertow bundles. Who cares? Who cares? Nations League don't care. Ranked OC just getting daylight savings time back. Rank splits are gonna last till 1.15. So I think that's like, is that one extra patch cycle? So like an extra 6 weeks per rank split. It seems like. Balance, blink. They allowed you to blink proxy without having it on instacast. If you do blink proxy and your smite or your blink is not on instant cast, it will blink as if it was on instant cast. And then added it to a couple more abilities like Terra Dash and like Argus ult. Hunt will no longer cancel your ability. This used to be the case back in the day. Like for example, you used to be able to Q as Serath and Smite at the same time. And then now it like pulled you out of it, so you just instantly canceled your Q, which was really fucking annoying. This just like is a fix to that, even though that was the way it used to work, i.e., bug fix. Next time Mirror Twitch takes your birdhouse, you're gonna burn it all down. Well, maybe hit the regular sub instead of the prime so it doesn't refresh. For some reason, primes automatically remove them if you don't refresh them. Minor augments getting some adjustments. Healing on veracity getting increased slightly. Doesn't really matter that much. Ultimatum, a little bit less damage, but you get 8 ultimate haste. This is a massive buff. This is probably the best minor augment now, by far. A really big buff to the minor augment there. Divination, getting extra 1% heal shield, doesn't really matter that much. Regenerator, getting a little bit of extra
Soul
healing, doesn't
Report
matter that
Freer.
much.
Perfect timing, new Predecessor patch drops and you're already reading it like a man on a mission. This is why the stream stays interesting, because you actually lock in on the details and make it fun to watch.
Okay, thank you, David. Appreciate the glaze. You're a regular sub, aren't you? Well, you are now, but I think you've used Prime in the past. If you do use Prime, it'll like automatically refresh. Like it'll automatically cancel it at the end of the month, which is annoying. Jeff Bezos trying to get his money back. Anyways, secondary augments, Techno Rat, you get 5% attack speed. Irrelevant. 5% just not enough. I would rather have my cooldown on my ult have 10 haste than 5% attack speed on most characters. Um, but still a buff to the people that want to go Techno Rat. 5% is huge early. I mean, it's a not really. It's less than a short sword even. Alchemist, less mana regen. Doesn't really matter that much. Steadfast, 3% tenacity. Matters a little bit for characters like Rampage that already get tenacity for free in their kit. Or like Bayle, but I don't know if it matters that much, to be honest. Adele, her support augment, a little bit less damage, a little bit less cooldown refund, and the radius that you have to move to actually get hit by it on the bramble that drops on the ground increased slightly. The Crown of Thorns self modifier increased to 250%. This is the augment where you lose the mez, but you do extra damage because you get your passive. The passive damage that you do is increased, so you'll do more damage. Base stats a little bit more mana, a little bit reduced movement speed, which is a little surprising. Physical armor reduced, a little squishier. Ally true damage on the passive reduced. That's probably a good thing. Her Q does more base damage with more scaling, but less bonus HP scaling, so it's more of like an actual damage ability. Don't think it matters that much. Probably overall roughly the same. Your wave clear is better though because you have more base damage, so it'll be a little stronger early game. A little bit about the same late game. Could we get an armor for true range, by the way? Kind of sick of true damage. Well, that's why it's called true damage, because it's true damage. Just build mitigation, dumbass. Imperial Ash, her 2. You can dash yourself to juggle monsters. Cooldown increase slightly. Damage decreased slightly. Don't really matter that much. Being able to grab minions, though, does increase your jungle clear pretty significantly. You get a lot more mobility. Impact on the ult reduced. Impact damage now correctly scales with HP. So I guess it wasn't scaling before. Bonus scaling decreased. Distance move to take damage increased, so you take less ticks. The slows increased at max rank, and the cooldown is increased slightly. Doesn't really matter that much. Adele, pretty good this patch. Still probably going to be pretty good next patch. It looks honestly like that's overall like a... It's like more of a shift, not really a buff or a nerf, more of a shift. Nerf to the ult, but a buff to the rest of her kit. Especially in jungle solo. More of a support nerf than anything, I think. When is this dropping? On Tuesday. Akeron no longer gets bonus healing on his Crushing Maw. Bug. Okay. Good. Glacial Charge now has set damage and roots for 0.6 seconds instead of the full root value of the two. This is a good change. Should have been done earlier, honestly. Basically, it's just not as strong as the 2 root, but you will still get CC on it, but good nerf. The armor shred reduced, doesn't matter. Armor shred does shitty augment. Just get the wall augment every time. Just get CC. Just build the CC augment. Crazy concept. Build the CC augment. Stop building this dog shit. Believe it or not, extra ability plus CC usually better than 15 shred. Irrelevant. Stop building this shit. I don't care if you're playing solo lane. I don't care if you're playing fucking ADC. Stop building this shit. It's ass. Just build this every time, please. Jesus Christ. I'm so tired of seeing that shit in my solo lane. Hitbox length on the 2 reduced slightly to match the VFX a little better. Thank God. Hopefully I don't get fucking rooted in the sky. I'm so tired of that. Bayle, bug fixed to his auto attack not going off as fast. Don't know, who cares. I don't even know why that's in here. Dekker getting an extra power per stack on the ball augment. Huge buff. Huge buff. I mean, that's a 100% increase. Also, extra scaling on her 1. So not only is she getting more power, she's going to get more scaling as well, which means that power is going to be putting in more work. We'll be playing this character in mid-next patch for sure. Kind of an insane buff, actually. At least for mid lane. Not sure why we're buffing this character. They literally say she falls off late game, but that's, like, not true. You're literally a character with 3 CCs and a cage, so you know, maybe you shouldn't one-shot people. That's like kind of the point. So maybe we don't do that. But yeah, she's gonna be very good next patch in mid and in support. Eden getting her augment for the Q, movement speed reduced, cooldown reduced, cooldown reduction reduced.
Let's hope they're good.
Munch, thank you for the resub, man. I appreciate the 7 months. Welcome back to the Bird Nest. Lifted, thank you for the 150 streak. I appreciate it. You like your ult in Paragon? Who's ult? Dekker? Wasn't her ult just Cage? What's up, Lifted? Good morning. I think Eden's ult in Paragon. True. Eden basic attacks, 1% less scaling. This is a massive nerf. This is larger than it looks, even though it's only 1%. Like, this is like a 10% reduction in her auto attack damage. This is like a huge nerf. I think it's like actually 9%, but, you know, huge damage reduction on her auto attacks there. And then the auto attack in melee, also getting less scaling. 25% reduction in scaling on melee autos. Crit damage increase though, so if you build more crit, nerf to the bruiser build a little bit. People were going like Basilisk second and stuff like that, just out trading. A little bit of a nerf to that, so you kind of have to build more crit. And the final hit does a lot less damage. But you get a lot more crit scaling, so if you build crit, it'll probably be about the same. Dude, Cage of Pits, nothing, and nobody getting through. Oh yeah, block dog projectiles and stuff, didn't it? Fang Mao, not executing people if they were out of combat and healing from Titan's Crest somehow. Somehow you're healing from Titan's Crest, but you're out of combat, even though Titan's Crest requires you to be in combat to heal. So I don't even know how this even occurs. But sure. Bug fix. Gadget, a little bit less scaling on the right click. Character's still insane. You're still gonna, I mean, that's still probably the best mid laner next patch. You didn't balance? Yeah, they removed her from the game. That's called the balance. I love having my balanced character removed from the game or OP. Very, very fun. Greystone, less scaling on his right click, a little bit less cooldown reduction on hit, but you do get the cooldown when you hit jungle monsters. So not really that relevant, but I don't know. Maybe it has some chase potential of like you miss a target, but you hit the jungle minion, so you get movement speed, and then you can walk at somebody faster. I don't know. Kind of irrelevant. Grux, a little bit more heat on his passive augment. Doesn't matter. Howitzer, some actual changes. Type in English essays over here. We're not reading all that. His mine augment, a little bit more cooldown. Don't matter that much. His auto attack augment, a little bit more stacks, a little bit more per stack, but less stacks in general. And you get Omnivamp per stack. The Omnivamp is actually kind of good. That's a pretty relevant change, especially since the movement speed augment's getting nerfed a little bit. This Omnivamp one might be kind of good just because you get healing for free, which is kind of good. Howitzer missile, no longer getting single target damage anymore. They're just putting the damage back on the base damage, so you don't have to direct hit it anymore. Kind of a dumb change in my opinion. I don't really like that change. They did make it so you can flick it a little bit, so it's a little bit easier to hit, and it's synced a little better with the frame rate and whatnot. So like just some quality of life stuff to make it feel a little better. I don't really like the change of removing the bonus hit, like direct hit damage. I think it's kind of silly. I think it's a fake fix to something that was actually like a better thing for the game. They basically said this ability feels good. We're gonna make it feel dog shit. Oh, it feels dog shit. Okay, let's take away the skill part of it so it feels less dog shit, which I think is just like a roundabout way to just make the ability Mickey Mouse and easy. Not a fan of this. I don't like this change. I think it's a dumb change. I think it's a dumb change to fix a problem that they created for themselves. In terms of making Howitzer missile feel shit. Landmine is 2, does extra damage, and has more scaling. So they're like super buffing Howitzer. Probably going to be really good next patch. A little bit less base damage, but a lot more scaling. More base damage early game, which is, relevant. A little bit less base damage late game, more scaling. So pretty much is the buff across the board for Howitzer. Going to be very good next patch. I can't hit shit, make the rocket lock on. That's right, Stunner. We already knew that. Khaimera, a little bit more cooldown on his 1. And a little bit cooldown on his ult early game. Still dog shit character. Still ass. We can move on. Belica, a little bit more passive XP from her augment. Literally does not matter. Believe it or not, passive augment per level, or getting more passive XP per level doesn't matter because your level is already higher in the first place. Dog shit. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Augment sucks. You can only get to level 18. Build a better augment. Literally both other augments are better. Passive, going back to 10 haste instead of 8. Big buff, lets you build more flat pen and get away with it. Pretty big buff, honestly. And then her knockup, 1 second cooldown reduction early game.
Now I know you're a selfish lover. Couldn't even wait me to come.
Couldn't even type it correctly, dumbass. Sparrow's gonna be mad annoying going invis after each shakedown. Brother cannot read patch notes, man. Narbash, when you ult, color of the ult will change based on what stance you're in. Neon, a little bit less radius on the explosion of the Q. Probably needed, honestly. The explosion radius was a little ridiculous. But they didn't touch her damage at all. Still going to be pretty strong. Just a little bit less AoE in team fights, which is probably a good thing, especially since it's true damage. They should probably change the true damage part of that, honestly. Phase, less scaling on her auto attacks because she gets magical scaling on her autos. And then she gets a little bit less scaling on the Q as well as a longer cooldown. Late game, hopefully this means she's not flashing around all over the place. But, maybe they should actually nerf the flash. Instead of reducing the flash to a 1 second cooldown, it should just take like 10 seconds off the flash or something like that. I think the way they have it balanced is really bad. Riktor, you get a little bit more cooldown refund on hero hit as well as mana refund on like ally hero hit with the hook augment. That shit sucks anyways. Don't build it. It sucks. little bit more physical power growth will help his jungle clear, mainly. This is more of like a jungle buff than anything, because you just do more auto attack damage to jungles, and then your right click a little bit less cooldown late game, doesn't really matter. Riktor's still kind of mid. Serath, kind of doing pretty well this patch. Seems kind of strong. Movement speed decreased slightly. Her right click damage reduced slightly late game, and then her ult less burn and a little bit less attack speed at rank 2. Oh, and max rank, sorry. I can't. Apparently my eyes don't work. Dude, could I add night mode back to this? Sevarog, for some reason, they're buffing Sevarog. I don't know why. Sevarog's really good. They say he is underperforming, but I think that's just fucking copium. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's people being bad at playing Sevarog or not knowing how to play Sevarog. This character's fucking insane. I don't agree with this buff at all. Knockback distance on the augment increased. This one doesn't matter. Irrelevant change. This one, you lose 5 damage early game. To do extra damage to monsters, which means you just clear jungle super fast. And then your cooldown, bro, can I stop clicking on these? The cooldown on the Siphon, a little bit, 0.1 second longer late game. Shorter at all ranks outside rank 1. Oh, no, sorry, shorter at literally all ranks outside of the max rank. Pretty big buff to Sev, honestly. This is more of a buff than this, especially since the lower the cooldown, the more times you steal HP from people. Sevarog Q takes HP, so if you get to use it more often, you're going to be taking more HP from people. Don't know why they buffed this character. Did not need it. Unfortunately, people were ass. I agree. They come with a money back guarantee. What we talking about? Because we talking about I miss. Shinbi, the auto attack augment, a little bit extra scaling, and a little bit more shielding from her too. Character's still good. Sparrow on hit modifier decreased on the bouncing augment, so a little bit less damage there. And then the attack speed from her 2 reduced pretty significantly. Probably a good change, honestly. And then she can recast it if it resets. This literally is only relevant if you have the augment that resets your abilities on kill. Basically, you had to wait for the buff to end, and then you could use it again to go invis again. Now you can use it at any point during the duration again. Which I don't know if it refreshes the cooldown or if it stacks, though. That would be interesting. If it stacks, that's like really good, like the attack speed stacks. Or if it's just refreshes the duration. I would imagine it just refreshes the duration. Steel, his shield bash will do extra damage to monsters. They really want Steal the Jungle. Tank meta, super fun. Wraith support. Ward getting nerfed a little bit, so you get a little bit less power, a little bit less haste, and 5% off the right click. Character's still nuts. Wukong, known for being super oppressive and OP, clearly very strong right now. I see him all the time in all of my games. He's so OP, very strong. Needs to be criminalized across the board. They're just nerfing all of his abilities. Cooldown on the jump reduced by 1 second. Damage on the slam reduced, minion damage on the slam reduced, power scaling on the push reduced, and the dash cooldown also being reduced. Super strong character, really needed to be hit across pretty much his entire kit. I think they should just actually nerf him again because he's just so potent and strong. Clearly, very good character. I'm so glad that they're nerfing this character that's super OP and definitely needs it. Definitely was too strong and should be removed from the game. Wukong 100% pick or ban. Buff Wukong more, not gonna lie, true. Anyways, I think we should nerf Wukong again. Yin, also known for being super strong and OP right now. Everybody knows that. Super OP and strong. Very, very highly picked right now. Missing HP reduced from the augment and the multiplier increase. So you heal a little bit more off minions, but you heal less off players in general. But the increase on non-minions is balanced out by the fact that you do get less in general. So, like, basically the same for minions as it is right now. You just do less against players. And then the max health damage on the 2 is just decreased late game. Yeah, you get nerfs for some reason. Was that sarcasm? I would never use sarcasm ever in my entire life. How dare you? Yurei getting less power per level, less mana, and less mana per level. Sure. which kind of sucks. She's kind of bad right now. I don't think she's very good. It's not that she's bad, it's that there's zero reason to play Yurei. It's the same problem Wukong has. There is zero reason to play Wukong or Yurei when you could play a different character that does the exact same thing. It doesn't just die instantly. Titan Crest now stacks when killing units. Thank God they finally balanced this item so you don't have to be hit permanently for it to stack. Before you could literally only stack this if you took damage. Very fucking annoying. Every other crest in the game stacks off killing minions. Thank God they finally fucking balanced this. This does also mean that this is a buff to Sevarog. Again, as Sevarog will be able to stack this faster. In general, this is the hardest crest to stack. It usually takes the longest. This will probably make it a lot more in line with some of the other crests, probably around like 9 to 10 minutes as opposed to like 12 minutes, which is usually when you get Titan Crest, unless you're like really trying to stack it, like, you know, tanking minions and things like that, like trying to get a little bit of extra stacks here and there or building like an extra HP gem. So this will be a lot more in line with other crests in terms of when you get it online. Support crest, mushroom, shroom, model decrease. Doesn't matter. As long as I have to jump on this for it to actually work initially instead of it just spawning under me, it's ass. All the gold across the support crest are getting reduced by 5%. 10%? Sorry, 10%. I can't do math, apparently. I can see I can't do math. Silentium, a lot less damage. Yeah, 30% power reduction. Or power scaling reduction. 30%. It's losing 30% from 50 to 20. Jesus Christ, I can't speak, dude. I think I'm an ape. Is this patch for Tuesday? Yes. And the cooldown is increased. Honestly, shit active should be removed from the game. Tier 2 Lightning Hawk and like Stormbreaker and stuff takes a little bit more stacks to get it. From auto attacks, you don't get as much, so you're not going to be proccing it as often. Probably a good change. Spectra was doing 2 more damage than intended. Okay. Also, the amount of bonus damage that it's doing when people are low HP reduced slightly. Okay. Nobody's building this item, so sure. They're just nerfing like Zinks, I guess. Stormbreaker. Less power scaling decrease, or power scaling decreased, cost increased, and you're getting the proc reduction, so maybe the item sucks now. I don't know. It's definitely a lot worse. It's a pretty big nerf. Alternator getting 50 mana. Who cares? The bonus damage on your alternate ability when you upgrade it increased from 12 to 15%. That's pretty big. That's pretty nice. Dread no longer gets taken from Tainted Guard or things like Fire Blossom, things like that. Will no longer proc Dread. Probably a good thing. I hope they do this for like Bubble and like Sevarog passive and stuff like that. There are certain things that pop Bubble as well that are like kind of along the same lines as this, so I hope they do that for that as well. But good change. I mean, just a bug fix. Inferno, a little bit more mana, a little bit more burn damage. Item probably still bad, honestly, most of the time. Menace getting buffed. Gold reduced slightly. Attack speed increased slightly. Physical pen increased slightly. Still scales. Item's okay, honestly. I think this item's a little underplayed. I don't think it's actually that bad. It's just not as good as the other items, which they kind of say here, but I still think it's like an okay item, especially if it's like a later game. I think it's a little underused right now, or underexplored, I should say, maybe. Omen, same auto attack passive change. This literally doesn't matter for Omen because it's like a cooldown reduction item. They're increasing the damage on the auto attack, which is just like a Fang Mao buff for some reason. This is not a problem with the item. The item's actually really good right now. Saying that you're using this item for temporary burst is kind of literally just the opposite reason as to why you use the item. You don't use the item because it increases your burst. You use the item because it gives you cooldown. If you wanted like a bursty auto attack, you would build like augmentation or something like that. So I don't know why they're doing this. They're just making Omen like a better item than it already is when it's already a good item for like assassin characters that use it. It's like I don't know why you would do this. It's a silly change in my opinion. Sonic Echo gives you 3 auto attacks instead of 2, but they lowered the amount of attack speed. Fun fact, this was already 3 autos for some characters. It was bugged for a bit, so
God forbid it, man.
I guess that makes it not
we
bugged.
will get a Sev YouTube video soon.
I'm pretty sure I had a separate YouTube video like the other day. Also, VR, thank you for the resub. I appreciate the prime. Welcome back to the Bird Nest, man. Thank you for the 8 months. I actually really like Sev right now. I think people are playing Sev very incorrectly. They're building like Fire Blossom and shit. Fire Blossom is dog shit on Sev. Stop building that shit on Sev. Just go straight to a relevant item. Okay, fix bug feature, check mark. I don't know if this was for every character, but I know on like Grux, he was still definitely getting 3 auto attacks. Gaia Greaves, 1% less scaling. They really hate this item. Dream Miner doesn't, it's just getting a text change, so that doesn't work on like proc effects. So like Mortgage passive or like Megacosm, whatever, things like that. Still works on dot damage, just not like proc damage specifically, which is stuff that requires you to hit them for it to work, whatever. Void Conduit getting kind of a big change here. Instead of getting 5% missing health regen, you get 6% Omnivamp to yourself and allies, which is kind of cool for like Narbash. Giving your teammates power and Omnivamp is kind of sick. They also increase the radius. Not sure who you're building this on or like when you're building it, but interesting change. Not sure if it'll be that relevant. It wasn't really built already. I'm not sure it'll be built after this change, but it's an interesting change nonetheless. Warp Stream, an extra 100 mana, and the out of combat cooldown reduced slightly, so it's a little bit more easy to hit in general. Honestly, getting close to an actual buildable item. Frostguard, the passive that it does, so like when you get hit, it applies the attack speed reduction, but it also applies the attack speed reduction per second when people are around you. That radius is getting increased, and then also the amount of reduction is getting increased slightly. Item is pretty good, actually. Dual prod item, HP, actually pretty good stats. Just a little bit hard to build just because the other items that you can build late game are just better. And it is more of a late game item, unfortunately. And that's it for the patch notes, really. Is there anything big in here? Trying to see if there's any big bug fixes. Yeah, nothing really getting bug fixed. I mean, kind of a weak patch, but it's also a mid-balance patch, like in between the larger content patches. Honestly, kind of like a whatever patch. They could put this in the game today, and I probably wouldn't care at all, honestly. I think the biggest, like, actual change is the Titan Crest change. And the Wukong nerf, I guess. This is actually probably the biggest change in the patch, in terms of actual, like, changes. Other than that, I think everything else is pretty, like, irrelevant, to be honest. Just, like, very, very... Oh, and the Eden change, I guess. Eden kind of got removed from the game, so... That's kind of relevant, too. And the Howitzer change, I guess. But I don't know if Howitzer will be better or worse. I mean, he got buffed, but I don't know if that'll actually make him good. Eden got criminalized, so his character's removed from the game, basically. Yeah, very small patch, honestly. All right, everybody say goodbye to YouTube.